Hi, my name is Kristen Shabelsky, and this is my paper outline for senior seminar. I started off with my thesis, and I wrote ZarPro is an effective method to enhance and recover proteinaceous materials from the skin of human decedents during the early stages of decomposition. For my introduction, I have a list of bullet points of what I'd like to discuss. I'm just going to discuss how fingerprints develop in utero, why everybody's is different and unique, and then I'm going to discuss latent prints and the known methods that are used to enhance those. And then I'm going to go into blood and its components, and then I'm going to discuss what methods are used to enhance blood impressions, because there's two different ways to go about lifting these two different types of impressions. Then I'm going to discuss ZarPro, which is what I'm using for my research, and how it's different than other methods, what's it made of, what are the benefits of using it compared to other methods. And then I'm going to discuss how ZarPro is beneficial for enhancing on human skin specifically. Then I'm going to discuss decomposition and what the stages of it are. And then I'm going to discuss if fingerprints have been studied on human skin before. And then I'm going to go into my materials and methods, and then I'm going to be rating my fingerprints that we lifted for the research. So I'm going to discuss the different ratings of the impression quality and how well they fluoresce. And diving into my materials and methods, I am going to discuss blood, so the blood that was used in the research trials. And then I'm going to discuss the optimization of the blood impressions and how we got them to be of good quality. Then I'm going to talk about the deposition of impressions, so kind of going into the same thing, how they were deposited on the decedents. And then I'm going to talk about human skin as a substrate, so I'm going to talk about whether they were frozen or refrigerated beforehand, if the skin had to be shaved at all to get rid of any hairs, if skin lifted up when we were depositing, and also just any skin abnormalities, like what the bodies look like before, if they're covered in freckles. And then I'm going to dive into the enhancement methods, so ZarPro itself, like how to cut the activation strips, how to spray it and let it dry, but not completely, before placing the lift on the body and applying good amount of pressure before lifting it. And I'm going to discuss how the research trials itself, we lifted lifts from hour 1 up to day 5, and impressions were lifted from the leg, the arm, and the neck, both arms, both legs, and non-impression controls were taken as well. And I'm going to discuss which days those were lifted on. I'm going to discuss the field, so where the bodies were placed for these trials, if they were protected by anything, and what the weather was like. I'm going to discuss photography, so what camera was used, a macro lens was used. These impressions were observed under normal and alternate lighting, so I'm going to discuss the ALS light that we used for that. And then the 1 month post-trial photos will be included in this as well, where the rating and the fluorescent intensity will be discussed. Thanks.